Hey guys, welcome back to Words at War at the movies. We're here to review Now You See Me today. My name is Jorge Guerra.
I'm Sergio Guerra.
So as far as Now You See Me, it's a story or a film about four magicians that are kind of going toe to toe with the FBI. It's as far as in my opinion, I thought it was a pretty good movie. It kept you in the story. Sometimes it was a little bit predictable, but I did like. I like all the actors in it. Isla Fisher, Mark Ruffalo, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine. Like all those guys are really good at what they do. I really enjoy watching them work. So for me, that was one of the big draws to this movie. But I did find, in a week that doesn't have a big opening stellar movie, this was a really good movie to go watch. Just like I said, like there's action, there's magic tricks, there's like good stuff in it, honestly.
Yeah, actually, I'm a big fan. Like I'm a Magic fan, and so when I watched the trailers for this, I got pretty excited about it. So going into it and already kind of expecting it to be good, it's kind of it starts you off kind of slowly and then it builds up like a nice ride. Should it is very entertaining. Like George was saying, the actors all did a tremendous job. It's really cool seeing everybody kind of play off each other. On the opposite end of that for me is just the four main magicians didn't have as much interaction as I would like to see. As far as the movie itself, like being entertaining and all that, you get a lot of Mark Ruffalo and his partner, with Interpol. But the four main magicians, and I think it's part of the story because it's trying to, it's kind of like playing a magic trick, on you as you go, on the audience as you go along. And so you don't get to really see a lot of them, and these guys are really great actors. Woody Harrelson's like always funny, so the times they were on screen together, I thought was pretty cool. It just would have been great to see a little bit more of that.
And I agree. I think part of it. Well, I mean, the way I saw it, because they each had certain characters to play, and I think in the story, the leader was the leader, and so maybe that's why he got more screen time. But I mean, like you said, there was some really cool. Like I think Isla Fisher is amazing, actually. Woody Harrelson was hilarious, and he has a couple of like scenes in there that you're in there, you're like, yeah, Woody Harrelson. but yeah, I mean, like I think all in all, I think it was a balance in the movie. I think maybe because Woody Harrelson's a scene stealer sometimes. Like he's in the scene and he's the guy. So especially with young actors, sometimes he's already kind of seasoned, and he knows his way around. So I think it was a good kind of like letting the younger actors shine and stuff like that.
Well, do you have any like things that stand out, like good or bad?
Things that stood out. Let's see. I really did like. I really did like the separation of characters. I thought it was really cool how they introduced each one and like why they were there. Like I thought that was really cool. It was a good little setup of like why it was them that were like chosen.
Well, I don't mind how they introduced them and how that was separate, but once they became a team as the Four Horsemen, that's when I thought it would have been great to see a little bit more of them.
Well, see, but I think in the all-around like magic trick that they ended up doing, I think each of them still played that part. You know what I mean? Like maybe not as much. I can see what you're saying, but I think each one still had that one, especially in that first bit. I mean, they each had their the hypnotism and the mentalist and the guy that could break into anything. So I think they all played the roles.
Well, yeah, and I know that I'm just saying that I thought it would have been cool if they would play those roles against each other. Not against like villainy or anything like that. I mean, in other words, if they would have played
more interaction between.
Well, if they would have played off of each other, I think that the moments that did happen in the film, it made it more interesting. And so, if they would have done more of that, I guess it would be cool. For me, like I wish magic was like this. I mean, like I said, I like magic, but these guys go overboard, and there's just tons of crazy stuff in there. So that's kind of cool to see. It's kind of cool to imagine other people might get into magic just because of these, these movies now. But also to me, it was kind of like in the movie. Throughout the movie, they're talking about how this is just the beginning and it's growing and it's going to be this ultimate trick or whatever. So I felt that it was kind of like empty at the end, like the promise that it's kind of and it delivers on the way, so you expect the payoff to be really good, and then it kind of isn't. At least to me, it didn't seem like it was that great. Like it was just all this hype, all this talk, and then it's just kind of like something very simple.
Well, see, but I think in my opinion, I think that was part of the whole trick itself. Like even played on the audience because it's misdirection. You're expecting this huge thing, and the actual huge thing is the reveal at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not good. Misdirection's great when you tell somebody, "Hey, look over here," and then you get out something awesome from this side. You know, not like, "Hey, look over here," and the misdirection is more exciting than the actual trick. You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I really liked it. I thought.
Plus, I know that cinematography wise, you want to keep things moving and all that, but it almost seemed like this movie was shot from a carousel, because first there's a carousel scene at the end, so that makes me think. But second, holy crap, every freaking like scene is just like the camera's moving and the camera's moving. It's just it almost like. You might make you want to barf it that much. Like if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just constantly, nobody can even breathe in without the camera moving in.
Well, what stood out to you then?
What stood out to me, from the whole movie?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think it wasn't necessarily a positive thing. It stood out to me that it was just a big kind of like build up. And then the final thing was pretty blasé. It wasn't very much. And so again,
I disagree a little bit, but okay, but yeah.
Well,
that's cool. But I mean, but all in all, I mean, it was.
Yeah, without giving any spoilers.
Yeah.
It's just it builds you up, and again, the whole thing's entertaining on the way there. But it just seemed like the finale thing or whatever. It strikes awe and people are like, oh wow, that happened, but it's not what they were building up for, you know. And so to me, it just felt a little bit like empty at the end.
Okay.
You know.
So then, what would your rating be like that?
For this, I mean, it was pretty exciting. It gets you going right at the beginning, and it kind of keeps building up, and minus the end, it continues to deliver, and great performances by everybody involved. So. I definitely think it's the kind of movie that a lot of people can go see, not just like adults. They can take some kids into it, and you could have some older adults. So I would give it like a 7.5. I think it's good enough to go to see at the theaters. It doesn't have any major huge CG, but it's one of those things you could take your whole family or your girlfriend or whatever and just have a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably go with a. I'm gonna go with an 8, just because I probably would pick this up when it comes out on Blu-ray. Just because again, I think the actors in it are great. I like the ride that it took you in. I kind of like at the end how they kind of made it more than just a simple trick. You know what I mean? Like there was still that kind of like mysticism in there. Just everything in there. Like for me, added up to something that I would be sitting there on a rainy day and be like, hey, let's pop this in, because there's some awesome fight scenes in there too. And I thought were really cool. But yeah, so I mean, I would say about an 8. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I mean, I guess that's it for Now You See Me. Definitely go check it out. It is fun, So we're pretty much done with this one. I guess if you have any comments, leave them below. Please, subscribe and like the video. Let us know what you think, what we're doing.
Yeah, just any comment is welcome. But all right, so one more time, George Guerra.
Sergio Guerra.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.